Hi, this is Caitlin Lefton, and this is my reproductive system video. I was having a little trouble kind of deciding whether this was a male or a female, but I'm pretty sure it's a female. But just in case, I think I'm going to talk about both the male and the female reproductive parts. But we're going to start off with the female, so let's take a closer look. It's kind of hard to tell what anything is in here anymore because it's kind of mangled and torn up in there, but I'm going to do my best to point out the area that things are supposed to be in and what everything does, basically. So the first thing I wanted to start off with is the body of the uterus. So that's basically found right here in this area, and the body of the uterus is just the major portion of the uterus. Then you would have a couple ligaments that I want to talk about. The broad ligament goes over the uterus, and it helps support and keep the uterus in place. It also helps support like the uterine tubes and the vagina. Then you would have the ovarian ligament, and that one anchors the ovary to the uterus, so that's also in this area. And another ligament found in this area is the suspensory ligament. That one anchors the ovary to the pelvic wall, so that would be down here more. Then you would have what's called the mesophalanx, which is a lining found in the abdomen, and you can see that right here. It's very see-through. Then we have what's called the fallopian tube, right here. And the fallopian tube is also known as the uterine tube, and it transports the ovum to the uterus, down here. Then you have the uterine horn, which is basically just where the uterus and the fallopian tubes meet up with each other. So let's move this out of the way. That would be down here more. Then you would have the ovary, which you can't really, I think it's this part right here. And the ovary is the female gonad, and it's the primary reproductive organ of the female. It produces the ova, and it also produces hormones like estrogen and progesterone. There's a couple things that weren't on the list in the lab manual, but I wanted to talk about them anyways because they're important. So obviously you have the uterus down here, and that's just the hollow organ where the ova is allowed to grow once it's fertilized, and it protects it, and it's very muscular. And then you have the cervix, which is the narrow neck projecting into the vagina, so that would be down a little bit lower. Then you have the vagina, which is also known as the birth canal. You can see that down here. And the vagina is just a passageway for the delivery of a child, and it's also part of your menstrual cycle because that's where those things are released as well. So that concludes the female parts, and then we're going to move on to some of the more male reproductive organs.